I think you saw him first, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. There's definite a figure of somebody, whatever it was, I don't know.
Just walking down here tonight, and I want to talk about some strange things that we're seeing on cliff tops over the last 2 weeks. Myself and Pete, and myself and Mick, although there were a group of people there at the time. So we literally walked to about here. Linny walked with us, didn't he?
Yeah.
And where do you reckon they were stood?
About this corner of this post here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just on this bit of a bend area here.
So where I'm stood now at this exact spot, last week, I was with Pete, Ian, Mick Sigson, and I think Jeremy were there, and Mick said, "Who's that there?" And about here, where I'm stood, this location, we saw the dark outline of a man from the stand up there, where we were stood up there. And myself and Mick saw him. We walked down towards him. When we got there, there was nothing there. What was it? Are we talking about a ghost? Are we talking about something that people would say is a ghost or a shadow person? I really don't know, but I'm positive I saw it, and I know Mick did. So then the previous week, we're all walking back. We've been here, and it's night time. It's about 11 o'clock, and we're all walking along here. And we just get to this brow here, where we go down to this hill. Pete's up there, but me and him saw somebody a week before as we're all walking back. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And Peter said, "There's a bloke there coming towards us, look." Which is correct. I could see him, and we didn't know who it would be. We thought it might be Mark, because Mark does come to see us at 9:30, 10:30 time, and spends an hour or so. So we carried on walking down here, and as we're walking down, we lose sight of him, obviously, because we're going down into this hollow. As we come up out of the hollow, as I'm doing now, bearing in mind he weren't that far away, this man, this woman, this shape of a person had gone. And all we saw were the dark silhouetted outline of a person walking along the top of the cliffs. And I think when we saw them, they would have been about here, and we were over there. They were walking towards us, we were walking towards them, and we thought we would see them somewhere along the route. They'd completely gone. So that's 2 instances of the shape of a person, just the dark shape of a person that we've seen in 2 weeks, which is not unnerving, but it's strange. I've seen them on both occasions. Peter saw them with me on one occasion, Mick Sigson on another. And we assumed that night it would be Mark that was just stood at the, what you would say is the entrance to the stand. And there was nobody there. About half an hour later, Mark walked up out of the darkness. We asked him if he'd passed anybody en route, and said he'd not passed anybody. So is it somebody playing little tricks on us? Some kind of stunt? There's always that possibility, because for all intents and purposes it looks the shape of a person. And there's no detail, because you're looking at something in darkness. As I say, later tonight as the light drops, I'll probably walk and say a few similar things to mix this in. Yeah, it's just interesting. What do you reckon it was?
Very hard to say, but there's definitely something there, and it disappeared, whatever it was.
So it literally took us, what, 15, 20 seconds to walk to it?
Yeah.
And there was nobody there?
No, nothing there whatsoever, vanished.
Now I've walked a little bit further now for a specific reason. And the reason I'm walking here now is that about 2 years ago, myself and Bob Brown were coming off the cliff tops once again, and we're just walking, and we're about here now. Where we are now, we're just walking towards, there's a seat over there, and we're just walking towards the seat that's over there and then on the path that goes up the cliffs. And there's just me and Bob. I think it's a cold November evening, and we can see the outline of somebody at that seat. And there's flames dropping. Now you can see how far away we are. It's not far at all. And we can see flames dropping to the floor. We carry on walking, minding his own business, curious as to what these people are doing, or this person is doing. And when we get to the seat, there's nobody there. Absolutely vanished. Which once again is impossible. It couldn't have happened. But that's the way it happened. We walked to the seat, there's no visible evidence of flame, yet we saw the outline of a person and flames drop into the floor. It puzzled me so much that I got to the path here with Bob, and I got my thermal camera out, which obviously, if there's anybody in the darkness, it's going to pick up their heat signature. And when I got the thermal camera out, I had a look up there, and there's nothing. I had a look down there, all around, and then I walked back down here because I was positive that these people, they couldn't have got away, and I thought, well, they're going to be hiding down here for whatever reason. Put the thermal camera down there. Nothing to see. Are we just imagining this? Are these real people that we're seeing? Remember that the fishermen, the Filey fishermen, the Bridlington fishermen, the rock anglers that come to these cliff tops also claim that there's a ghost that walks along the cliff tops. Primarily they call it the ghost of Big Railings, because that's the place that this apparition is seen more than others. But have we got something else up here? Or are we mistaking people and just not catching them when we get there? My gut feeling for the one that I saw last week whilst with Mick Sigson was that nobody could have possibly got away. It literally took us, what, 15, 20 seconds to walk to it?
Yeah.
And there was nobody there?
No, nothing there whatsoever, vanished.
It was literally 25 yards away from us, stood in the darkness, just stationary. And as Mick pointed it out to me and I saw it, we started walking towards it and it had just gone. That's strange. And then to recap, the one that we saw the previous week when I was with Pete, and Pete said there's somebody walking towards us, look. And as I'm walking down here now, picture walking in the night, 11 o'clock, 11:30, and you can see the outline of someone walking. And we're over there on the brow of that hill. And as we descend, obviously we lose sight of them. And when we come up to the top of the hill, there's nobody there. Totally puzzling. We get to the car park, there's no cars in the car park. You know, I'll level with you, ghosts aren't really my thing. But is it a ghost? Is it what people would call a ghost? I think it possibly could be. So that's low light. So will you walk down here with me now?
Yeah. So
other night then, Mick, me and you were stood about here, were we?
Yeah, just at the bottom of the ramp here, yeah.
And we'll walk to roughly where we think there was somebody stood.
Yeah.
And I know this camera's not going to do it justice because it's low light, but I think you saw him first, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. There's definite figure of somebody, whatever it was, I don't know.
So we literally walked to about here. Linny walked with us, didn't he?
Yeah.
And where do you reckon they were stood?
About this corner of this post here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stands on it there. Somewhere here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just round this bit of a bend area here.
And then Pete's up there, but Pete won't talk about this, but me and him saw somebody a week before as we're all walking back. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you reckon it was?
Very hard to say, but there's definitely something there and it disappeared. Whatever it was. Nothing there whatsoever, vanished.
Okay, as always, If you like what we're talking about, if you're interested in hearing more of these stories of the strange and unusual, please press the like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.